Welcome to turn 12 of Auburn Crown 0.4, this playthrough between Beriand and myself. It's getting more and more nerve-wracking every time I go to the replay, so let's just do it. So there's a long-range attack at Donsborough Harbour, just to stop the trade route from producing its full complement. So Guatenheim has made this incursion into northern Malkan. I'm not sure how far he intends to go. You see that his elites have taken that town, but then they've retreated back. This attack in the south of the ancient lands is also a real concern because there's nothing there to stop them. I'm having enough difficulty stopping them here, let alone over there as well. So they're doing a lot of damage, and ow! Wow, I didn't expect him to take out that dwarf unit there. 5 points in the rain. That is a fairly impressive result. Anyway, impressive in the negative. So the Silk Sultanate has joined me. They're going to be useful for working against, attacking, distracting, whatever, Guatenheim. Alright, so we lost a few bits and pieces. The dwarves. There's going to be mourning and brawn anvil this day. And a few things happened in Malkan, including the Silk Sultanate becoming an ally. Very useful. The Nort Delm has moved towards the adversary's 14%. They've got to be Mittelheim's first priority. Getting the Nort Delm Vikings on side is critical to their success. Alright, going over to Ang Nord, the rebels in Goodrich have secured the harbour. But it's still a case of moving towards the west, not knowing where that great dragon is. It's a bit of a scary thing because, as you've seen, that dragon can wipe out a unit or significantly damage it anyway. So I'll be moving towards the west, but at the same time trying to hide my main units until they're in such a position that they can attack with effect. So, what to move first? Got a few garrisons there, so of course they are also known as cannon fodder. So I will move them up, and if there's anything to see, at least that can be reported. Of course I've got to get to Moorbright where those fortifications have been built as well. Alright, so the Vikings who offered their services to Draka have holed up in Crow's Hold, the fortress there, and that is going to be a tough nut to crack. I don't think I can do it this turn, but hopefully in future turns I'll be able to. But I want to keep the giants and the elites as hidden as possible so that they don't. Having said that, I've decided to actually attack, and I'm narrating this after I did it, of course, and I'd forgotten that I attacked with the elites. I'm going to keep the giants, definitely keep the giants hidden, because even though they will leave at some stage to deal with internal matters back in Maelstrom, in the meantime they can be quite useful. So I can move the elites away because there's a death cult elite unit just over the horizon towards Shrewsbury, and I really don't want to be too vulnerable to them. Alright, so that's the Ang Nord. Going across to Ang Ford now. Just going to upgrade them a bit. Yeah, don't have the supply in that town in Ymirin Vale to do that, and I need to keep a unit there to garrison Ymirin Vale in case any of the denizens that are still loyal to Draka might show their faces and decide to run a rebellion. There'll be none of that. Otherwise I'm just going to sort of hang around a bit and wait and see how things go with Ang Nord. Like I said, I wanted to upgrade and put most of Angford's money, gold pieces, into Moradon, trying to get them into a position where they can attack Guatenheim. So Angnord has some gold pieces that it can spend. What's it going to do with them? Well, at this stage it's going to buy an elite unit because they're cheap at the moment, 60%, and why wouldn't you? In terms of diplomacy, they've got pretty much everything covered, so there's nothing much that Angnord can do there. Guildford is reasonably well protected, at least for now, and I'll be able to focus more on Moradon, getting them ready for an attack against Guatenheim, or a diversion. Look, they're not a particularly strong country, but they can be a diversion, and Thrangren can be very useful to have them on side as well. So that's going to be a priority for diplomacy. And I've got 2 chits there, so I'll put one more into Dwarf Kingdom, and one into Thrangren, because like I said, that needs to be a priority at the moment, even ahead of Danevirk, which is a good ally to have as well. Alright, so yeah, they're not able to do anything just yet. Hopefully soon they will be able to. I'm going to upgrade the garrison at Zar as well. And all these militias along the way up to Castile. Okay, they've only got 15 gold pieces left. That's not very much. And we'll just bring the navy together. There is a galleon that's being produced in Thornley at the moment. They won't be available for about 6 months. So need to work out what I'm going to do with that navy. Now, these guys really offended me by killing that dwarf unit, and so they need to be taught a lesson. So I'm going to attack them and see how we go. So the air units have done a bit of damage, and a bit more damage there from the garrison of Akros, and also from those dwarves trying to get revenge. Now I'm going to stop the attack at that point, because he knocked out a unit that was on 10 points last turn, so I don't want to weaken them any further. And besides, like I say, the situation at the moment is getting more and more dire for the Ancients. It is likely that they will fall at some stage, but it seems fairly early, and this ongoing attack that has been made against them is having a great effect. And like I said, I'm concerned about the northward advance of Imhotep and what they will be able to achieve at the same time as the attack is coming from the east. But I am going to send out the ship without being on full strength. That's okay, and we'll join them together along the trade route to Potentia, and I'll also bring up the Tribal League Navy as well. But first to Malkan and the Silk Sultanate, which I will upgrade first before I do anything else. Hopefully that will be enough to give him pause to just consider, how strong he is to keep pushing. In Malkan itself, I'll just extend the defensive line a bit and move up those leaders. I should not have probably got them into a situation where they were so sort of stuck in terms of their movement. That's all right. I'll get them back soonishly. Now over to the Tribal League, and they will continue to take a diplomatic approach. I'll move that fleet, like I said. Just to sit along that trade route and hopefully cause Potentia to lose gold pieces. Now we've got a few points there, so I'll look at the diplomacy situation, and there's 2 chits that they can spend, so they'll go in first. that only leaves them 223 gold pieces, so it really means that they can't buy a unit, but they can put in for weapons. Now, as I said, they've been taking a diplomatic approach and also a naval focus, but they do need to start preparing for that inevitable time when they will make landfall or need to defend themselves, and so weapons and armor will need to be researched too. Alright, so that looks like about it as far as I can do on this particular turn. I'll have a look at the map and see if there's anything that I've missed. And it looks like I've covered pretty much everything there. As I say, the Ancients is the main concern. Who knows how long they can last for. And Potentia has barely started yet, so I'll end the turn. Lord Delm joins them, the adversaries. Dwarf Kingdom, good, 15% towards us, that's what we need. They have lots of good units and of course gold pieces. Danevirk, 10%, better than nothing. They quite often take a while to actually activate. Sarnai, good, another 12%. They are getting closer to being able to pose a threat to the Gold Incarnate, and the Sea Princes, 11%. Angnord gets logistics, an extra leader. Not that I'm going to be buying a lot of leaders for a little while. And weapons, so that will come in useful. That also will get transferred across to Moradon. Alright, that's the balance sheet, looking reasonably good. The Angford has lost some income from not having gifts from Angford, and also not having the weapons and armor traders operating anymore, or at least not to the same effect. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.